Good evening. On behalf of Bill Forey, Department of Wisconsin AMVETS Commander, he wanted me to send a special message to all of the survivors of Vietnam. A message that has been forgotten at one time in our history. And that message is very short and it's very sweet. Welcome home, and thank you for your service. My name is Michael Hanke. I'm Senior Trustee for AMVETS Department of Wisconsin. Our commander regrets that he was not able to attend. He is spending a weekend at the King Nursing Home. There's a few facts that I'd like to address. 2.5 million U.S. soldier members served in Indochina. Men, women, United States Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force, Navy. Some as young as 14 years old. Most were drafted, and many gave their lives. As you've heard, well over 58,000 were killed in country. Although that is not limited to the number that have given their life for this country from their service in Vietnam. Over 303,000 service members were wounded in action. 13,167 are 100% disabled. 55,000 have died since coming home. They've died from suicide, addictions, and accidents. And of those 2.5 million that served in Indochina, 500,000 have attempted suicide. Imagine for a moment, if you will, if you kind of turn your head and look at the wall, imagine that being 58,000 human beings. To get a clear picture on how many have actually died from Vietnam, that wall could easily stretch to Rice Lake and back. While in country, the application of Agent Orange was dropped on U.S. service members. It was in their clothing, in their skin, in their lungs, in their water, in their food. There's a fact that very few people know about. Those that were inflicted with Agent Orange, their children will be inflicted with it, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, and so on. It stays in their bloodline for 7 generations. So, what does that mean? That means that the number of people killed in Vietnam is not limited to 58,000. It's not limited to 75,000. And quite honestly, we that are here on earth today will never realize or know the true number of Americans killed either in or from Vietnam. In 1991, Congress passed the Agent Orange Act. What that done, it finally authorized the VA to recognize illnesses from the application of Agent Orange on U.S. service members. Now, to put that into a clear picture, 1991 Desert Storm was happening. Desert Storm. I'm 51 years old. When the final boots left Vietnam, I was less than 10. I was in my 20s when the US government recognized this. A next sad fact is that the highest rate of suicides in the United States of America is not teenagers, it's not children that are being bullied from their peers. It is not only veterans, but specifically it is the Vietnam veteran that is killing themselves. And we ask ourselves, why are they doing this? There's many government agencies that try to stop people from killing themselves, but what they're not getting at, and what they're not detailing, is the reason why they're attempting suicide, or regrettably at times succeeding at suicide. The root needs to be pulled. You can't fix a cavity by taking out the tooth. You need to remove the root. The heroes on this wall served as medics, truck drivers, infantrymen, scouts, supply personnel, special operations, military police, pilots, flight crews, and engineers, along with many other military specialties. They deserve our respect. They deserve our honor. They deserve our salute. We need to keep a mental picture of this memorial. Remember not only their sacrifices, but also those before them. Remember the facts and chronicles of Korea, World War II, World War I. Read and teach your children and grandchildren about the American Revolution as volunteers would wrap their feet in burlap in the dead of winter and breach rivers and streams where mud, ice, snow existed. Again, their feet were in burlap, so we could enjoy the freedoms that we have here today. A couple years ago, I had the honor of speaking to I guess you could say, a unique group of veterans. And this group of veterans were prisoners at Stanley Prison. And I questioned if I wanted to go or not. But the bottom line was, at one time, these men that were in prison there, at one time, they served with honor. They were honorary discharged from the United States military. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I have no idea why, and when that fork in the road came, they went left instead of right. And so when I was there, I met with quite a few of them. I met with prison staff and social workers and so on. And I addressed veteran suicide. I'm sure many of you are aware, if you're not, the rate up to very recently was 22 veterans a day commit suicide. That number is now at 21. We're pushing for the day where it's 0. But while there, I addressed veteran suicide, and ironically, the night before, on Veterans Day, a veteran prisoner attempted suicide. Shortly after, about 2 weeks after I completed that speaking engagement, I received a letter in the mail from Stanley Prison, from a prisoner. I went through their prison staff, and I was hoping it wasn't to ask to come for a long stay or anything like that. But it was a poem that a prisoner wrote. And I want to finish this up with his poem to remember the Vietnam veterans that have committed suicide. or that have attempted suicide, or that will attempt suicide. It's called In Honor of a General's Son. This poem is about a soldier that returned from Iraq who committed suicide. His brother was killed in Iraq. Their father, still alive, is a retired United States Army general. A man has lost both of his sons, one to war and one from the results of war. In honor of a general's son, poor soldier returns from war to find that life doesn't make sense anymore. He served with honor, he served with pride, fighting and defending on freedom's side. But honor and pride mean little to a soul when it feels it is no longer whole. For wars that follow for years and years, forever waged upon fields of anguished tears. Fought in dreams on sleepless nights, the nightmares of war is an endless fight. Here the bombs still rain with violence so real, pain and terror for wounded souls to feel. Home that soldiers came, yet the battle still raged. Deep within was that chaos caged. One day he found he could fight no more and put an end to that raging war. What pain he knew, I know not, but I swear his name shall never be forgot. For war has claimed another soul, and a hero's life is freedom's toll. Be it here or 1,000 miles away, his life was taken for freedom's pay. So fly, dear soldier, you've earned your rest. Now be at peace, forever blessed. Thank you.